Growing great tomatoes requires attention to various factors, from choosing the right varieties to providing optimal growing conditions. With the right care and a few helpful tips, your tomato plants can produce delicious, ripe fruit. The trick to growing great tasting tomatoes is to choose the best varieties, start the plants off right, and control problems before they happen. In this video I am introducing 15 tips to help you plant and grow delicious tomatoes. How to select the right tomato varieties. Choose varieties that suit your climate and growing conditions. Consider factors such as size, flavor, and disease resistance. The two main categories of tomatoes are indeterminate and determinate. Indeterminate tomatoes fruit continuously throughout the season, while determinate tomatoes ripen nearly all at once. Determinate tomatoes are great for making sauce or drying, and because they tend to reach a smaller size at maturity, they're better for container planting. Indeterminate tomatoes, which include many heirloom varieties, are better for continuous harvests all summer long. Also, tomatoes are divided into early season, mid-season, and late season categories. In colder climates, look for early season tomatoes that have been bred to grow well in cooler weather. Start with quality seeds or seedlings. If starting from seeds, use high-quality seeds from a reputable source. On the other hand, if using seedlings, select healthy, disease-free plants. Plant your tomato plants deeper than they're planted in their pots. Bury them all the way up to the top few leaves. When planted this way, tomatoes can develop roots all along their stems. Just be careful not to drive your tomato stake or cage into the buried stem. Plant at the right time. Tomatoes are sensitive to frost, so plant them after the last expected frost date in your area. Plant tomatoes outdoors once any danger of frost in your growing zone has passed and soil temperatures are at least 10 degrees. It's best to wait until night temperatures are above 10 degrees to plant tomatoes outside. Harden off tomato seedlings grown indoors to help them adjust before planting. Provide well-draining soil. Tomatoes prefer well-draining soil rich in organic matter. Make sure your soil can provide the proper conditions for tomatoes. They prefer slightly acidic soil with a pH between 6,2 and 6,8. A soil test will also find any nutrient deficiencies. Work compost into the soil before planting tomatoes. You can also side dress plantings with compost mid-season to add nutrients. Amend the soil with compost to improve fertility and structure. Apply fertilizers specifically designed for tomatoes every 2 weeks during the growing season, starting with planting time. Tomatoes are heavy feeders and require a steady source of nutrients. To support your plants, use stakes, cages, or trellises to support tomato plants, especially indeterminate varieties. Give your tomato plants some support when they're 10 to 12 inches tall. Use tomato cages, string trellises, wooden or metal stakes with ties, or other strong supports to keep plants upright. Stakes or cages can help determinate tomatoes stand up straight once they bear fruit. This helps prevent diseases, keeps fruits off the ground, and makes harvesting easier. Proper spacing. Space tomato plants according to the recommended guidelines to allow for good air circulation and sunlight penetration. Watering. Tomatoes need consistent moisture, especially during the growing season and fruit development. Water at the base of the plant to avoid wetting the foliage and reduce the risk of diseases. Water tomato plants deeply and regularly while the fruits are developing. During hot, dry spells, they may need more water at the base of the plant or use a soaker hose. Avoid splashing water on the leaves, which can lead to disease. Don't withhold water so much that the plants continually wilt and become stressed, or they will drop their blossoms and possibly their fruit. Fertilize appropriately. Use a balanced fertilizer or one formulated for tomatoes. Too much nitrogen can result in lush foliage but few fruits, so adjust based on plant needs. Mulching. Apply a layer of mulch around the plants to conserve moisture, suppress weeds, and maintain a more even soil temperature. Pruning and suckering. Prune indeterminate varieties to remove suckers and improve air circulation. Determinate varieties may not require pruning as heavily. Monitor for pests and diseases. Regularly inspect plants for signs of pests. Aphids, hornworms, etc. and diseases, blight, wilt, etc. Consider using organic pest control methods and disease-resistant varieties. Harvest at the right time. Harvest tomatoes when they reach their mature color and are slightly soft to the touch. Avoid picking them too early, as this can affect flavor and texture. Rotate crops. To minimize soil-borne diseases, practice crop rotation, avoiding planting tomatoes in the same spot each year. Learn from experience. Keep a gardening journal to note what works well and what doesn't. Adjust your approach each year based on your observations and experiences. By following these tips, you increase the likelihood of growing robust, flavorful tomatoes in your garden. Now I am taking a moment to thank you for subscribing to my channel. Your support motivates me to create more content that you love. I'd also like to encourage you to leave a comment and let me know what you think of the video. Your feedback is invaluable and helps me improve my content. Thank you again for your support.